At the core of my lesson planning is something I call the plug-and-play system. And the plug-and-play system, and by the way, if you ever want to see how I lesson plan, I'll make sure I include a link down below where I spend 2 hours going over exactly how I lesson plan. We won't cover that here, by the way, make this one a lot shorter. But if you ever want to see that, once again, look at the description down below, and I'll go full detail on how I lesson plan. But that's the core of what I do. And the idea is that I use the same things in each unit. I usually break units up to 3 units. Each unit is meant for about 3 weeks roughly. And then I'll break it up with some common things that I do. And those common things that I do in almost every unit are notes, some ed puzzles. There's usually something else. And then once in a while, I'll sprinkle in some alternate assignments, something a little different out of the norm. And that's what I want to talk about here. Here are 3 things that I do that students just love regarding lesson planning. The first one is map skills. Now, this actually is a standalone unit. This is actually, I put this at the beginning of the year. After I do my whole week, getting to know each other, I spend about 2 weeks on map skills. And I have this packet, and part of it, and the whole part of this is also kind of teach them some different routines and things we do in the class. But this packet has different maps on it. But what I use that for is the foundations, the launching point to have discussions about the beginnings of America, right? How Columbus came over here and everything else from there. And so this is called map skills. Now, I won't go into details about that, but I also have a video on that as well. I'll put that in a link below. If you want to see exactly how I do that map skills, I'll put a link down below. You can watch that video, and I am telling you, it is phenomenal. The kids love it. It's one of their favorite things. We do it at the beginning of the year, and even at the end of the year, they still remember what we did. And probably the best part of it is it all accumulates. It all ends with a test, but the test is outside. I draw a map of the world, and students use the map of the world, and they have to actually physically move to that part of the map that answers the question. But it's an incredible activity. But that's one of the things I do. The second thing that I do, I introduce into my class, and I actually did this starting 2 years ago, is something called a breakout. And then let me show you what that looks like. Here is a breakout box, all right? In the box, hopefully you can see everything, are a whole bunch of locks. So you got the box and you got the locks, all right? And now, this is the storing thing, but what will happen is on this breakout box, there'll be I forgot the name of it, but like some sort of pad here, and you connect different locks to it. 4 locks, 5 locks, 3 locks, whatever else you want. And the idea is, it's kind of like a reverse escape room. Let me put this down. This is kind of heavy. It's called it's like a reverse escape room. Instead of you trying to escape the room, you're trying to get into this box. But the way you do it is you have to undo the locks. But the way you undo the locks, you have to solve riddles. And those riddles are connected with what we're learning about. Now, that's what I love about this. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like 100% informational stuff. There is some real deep critical thinking going on here, and they're trying to solve different patterns or riddles and everything else. But what they do is when they solve a riddle, they unlock the lock, and then once they unlock all locks, they get into the box, and whatever you have in the box as reward, that's what they get. And I can tell you, on the days that we have this, students get so excited, and you hear them, you're like, oh, they're chanting. They're like, yeah, they're cheering. It is great. I love this activity. And the best part about it, the company, now, worst part about it is, it's kind of expensive. The only way I was able to get this is I got a little mini grant from my district. I think it was like $1,000. And with that $1,000, I was able to get 6 boxes, I believe, and all the locks and things that go with it. That's a lot of money, but 6 boxes, all locks. But a set of 6 boxes is enough for a class. You got 5 kids in the group, 5 kids work on 1 box, 30 kids, you're good to go. So if you're able to afford it, that's great. If the district affords it, that's great. But the beauty of it is that it all is in one thing, meaning that you go to the website, they already have pre-made games there that you can do. So I teach history. So for example, let's say I'm teaching something about American history. George Washington, Revolutionary War. There is a game that's connected with George Washington, Revolutionary War. I could just download the game, download the pieces, the parts, whatever else I need to do, the riddles, and then I set all the locks and everything else. And so problems with it, or the thing is the reason why it's difficult for me, why I wouldn't do it every single day. It takes a lot of prep time to do it because you got to set all the locks, you got to print all the material and everything else. So a lot of prep time to do it. Other thing is expensive, right? If you're paying cash for this in your own pocket, this may be something you may not want to do. But I am telling you, out of all the activities, this is probably my students' favorite thing to do. So it's called Breakout EDU, second thing on my list. And now the third thing is Blooket. Now, instead of me just talking about Blooket, let me kind of show you what it looks like in case you've never seen it before. But this is a great alternative, something I usually use this as a review of material for my students before a test. So let me show you what Blooket looks like.
Now to get set up on Blooket, I believe it's 100% free. I just put in my email address and everything else and do my little sign on and gets registered. But once you're registered, you kind of come to this page right here. And now you have a couple different options. If you want to, and depending how you want to do it, you can actually create your own game or questions for your game. Or if you want to, you can discover games that are already made. Now, for me, I'll be honest, I haven't actually created a set yet because I found out that the actual sets they already have do a wonderful job as a review. And so let's go to discover sets. I think you need to go from here to here, but discover sets. And so you can see that you have all these different options you can choose from. So if you want to do a review of summer trivia, second grade science, everything else, you can put in there, or you can just go up here and search. I teach United States history, so let's put down Civil War. So put down Civil War. And as you can see, these are all different games. And when I say games, they're actually a set of questions. So these are all sets of questions that you can choose from. And then of course you click on each one there and it tells you who created them, tells you how many times they're played, and tells you how many questions there are. But let's say you wanted to try this one out. You click on it and this tells you what the questions are. Okay, and then of course from there the answers. And so these are sets of questions you can choose from. Now this is where it gets really good. And this what I believe sets this apart from other simple review games. So let's say I do that one. Okay, so now I chose a Civil War. What you can do from there is you actually play the game. And so you hit host game, and then this is where it's incredible. Now I've never actually paid anything extra for this. You could, and it unlocks more different different games they can play. But it has a variety of different games, and how these games work is they incorporate the questions into the game. So for example, Crypto Hack, this is one of the ones that I prefer, or I like seeing the kids play. They have a set of questions, but by the more questions they answer, they can actually hack into other people's accounts and steal the funds that they earn playing the game. Gold Quest, kind of same thing. Dino, but all these different, I won't go through each one, but these are all variations on the questions. And so instead of like my day, instead of just doing Jeopardy, that was my big thing for a while when I first started, and then I went over to Kahoot, which is really good, right? This is the next level. So the final thing I want to point out here is on this, you can actually save them as well. So once you save the games as your favorites, they go into your favorite category here. So there's certain games you go back and forth between. It'd be easy to get to them. Highly recommend Blooket. It's a great way to review. You will not be disappointed.